Oh, oh my! Well, this is some good jams, guys. Welcome. It's Friday. It's Friday.
What's going on?
Woohoo!
There's something
we live.
Joe, there's something we do every Friday, and I can't remember what it is. Can you help me out?
I don't know. Donate money to KW Cares, I think.
Boom. Good answer. Good answer. And on top of that, we're also doing another episode of Labs Advisors Live, and I am so stoked for today. But before we get into introducing our guest, I do want to quickly mention Slido.
Yes.
So if you join us here, you can use that QR code on screen. The links are also in the comments of the Facebook live stream as well. Or just go to Slido.com and put in 755127. There's so many different ways to skin this cat. If you go to Slido, you will be able to ask questions live, and we will be answering your questions.
There will be no cat skinning today, Evan. This is not the kind of show.
Absolutely. And guys, remember, there's no such thing as dumb questions allowed. Anyway, I'm just messing around. Let's get back over and let's introduce folks. So I'm Evan Ransom, host as always here with my good buddy Joe McHugh, partner in crime. And today we have a phenomenal guest. I'm actually really, really excited for today because we have Mr. Jay Cermak.
Hello.
Okay.
And Jay, you are going to be so mad at me because I wrote down those numbers and I don't know where I wrote them down at. In any event,
they were so good you forgot them. That's it. They just blew your mind. And it went out your brain.
I typed them somewhere. Someone has some very interesting production numbers for the productivity coaching program at Fort Lauderdale, but who knows who that may be.
So I'm a productivity coach, and so far year to date, my agents have sold over $9 million in sales volume and earned over $250,000. So kudos and proud to them. I'm an agent myself, so you see the J Team logo behind me, and helping the agents get production as well as growing the business and really taking advantage of the technology we have to build a strong business. So I'm excited to be here.
You sound like you could even be a labs advisor. You'd make a good one.
Yes. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll see if they're applying.
Good deal. So Jay, what are we talking about today, bud?
Yeah, I think it's the opportunity around the consumer experience and what can you do to leverage the KW app. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of people don't know enough about it, or maybe they heard something and said, I'm not going to use that. I don't need it. My board has an MLS app and my clients prefer Realtor.com or Zillow or something else. So I want to take a moment to actually show what it can do to empower you to feel more confident with it, and then to empower your clients to take advantage of it, because there are some differences. And that's really what I want to highlight today is some of the differences and how to leverage it. Because at the end of the day, we know everything in our industry is about mind share, right? How do I stay top of mind all the time, right? So if I were to say, a soda brand, you'd probably think Coke and Pepsi, maybe Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, but not 10 million realtors in America are going to come to mind. So we got to do something.
I go right for RC Cola myself.
There you go. Hey, gotta go with the classics, right?
Where's Dr. Pepper at, guys?
Every soda ever. So that's exactly where I think our app can come in to show what's different. Now, I'll just start with the preface of a couple things. One is, don't badmouth if they're using an app. Say, hey, I'm so excited, Evan, that you think the Zillow app is great. I love that you're an informed consumer. Let me just share with you maybe a different experience. Right? Boom. Because no one wants to hear that what they're using is wrong. And by the way, it's not necessarily wrong, but odds are that person's just going to get spammed by another realtor, right? It's not tied or locked to you. So the power of your app really just starts with the fact that it's branded to you, and anything that they look at throughout America and honestly throughout the world as we start expanding internationally is going to be branded to you. So no matter what, they're going to go through you to get the information, even if it's out of the area. So,
right, so
that's one of the strongest ones. Yeah.
So you're saying the approach I take with my brother who uses the Zillow app, calling him a dumb, I won't say the second word, is the wrong approach here. So what's the better approach?
I think the better approach is just, hey, I don't know about you. Let's say you're the brother. Hey, Joe, do you like saving money?
I love saving money.
Awesome. And by the way, do you live in a neighborhood, or do you just like knowing generally everything in America?
I mean, Jay, you know me. I like knowing everything in America, but let's play ball on this one. I live in a neighborhood.
Awesome. Well, that's exactly one of the differences from our app through any other app out there. And since you're my brother, obviously you're going to use me whenever you make a real estate decision, right? I can count on you for that, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Jay's bringing the smoke.
Awesome. So one of the things I want to share with you is take a look at it and see what the experience is. But a couple of the highlights that are different in this app, and I can show you while we're here, is the fact that not only do you get the information that you'd find on the Zillow app, but one of the biggest things is everything that you look at, I'm right front and center for you to easily contact me if you have any questions, no matter where you look. Right? We're connected. We're friends. We're family in this case, right? And by the way, right there at the top of that is, look, you could save $10,000 in this home. Would that be of value to you when you're ready to buy, to save money on buying a home?
That would be a value. Yeah, I'd like to say.
Awesome. And the reason I say that is, look, I'll pull up the same thing on Zillow. And while there is the ability to get the information I just shared with you, if you hit the call button, you're not calling me. And by the way, you're not even calling the listing agent. You're just calling someone who paid Zillow. And you're going to call me anyways, right, Joe?
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Exactly. So you're not going to use the call feature on there. That's good to know. By the way, it does have like a mortgage option, but there's no savings. So would you like to use this app and save no money and not be able to reach me? Or would it be of value to use the app that's tied to me so we work together and collaborate and you can save money and reach out to me on anything you look at and not be bothered by anyone else?
I think you just outscripted me, Jay. I don't have any more objections.
I could do this all day. We've got others. By the way, hey, you're my brother and stuff. And since I know you're looking and it matters to you, by the way, I've got a cool feature of adding you as either a co-buyer or collaborator on everything we look at. Wouldn't that be neat to be able to look at some homes and then let me quickly see so I get notified the second you found something new and we can chat back and forth about it?
Okay, I'm already ready to buy a house right now. When can I move to Fort Lauderdale?
Right? But do you see where it is? And I think part of that comes in, Joe, just I know it well enough that I can have that conversation. Yeah. And if we don't know it, I think people just don't mention it.
Oh, so Jay, what you're saying is we need to know the technology we expect our consumers to use?
Exactly. And honestly, do what I'm doing. I'm going to show you today. I went side by side with Zillow and I'm not bad mouthing them in any way. I just showed a difference. Right. And I've got Realtor.com here. I've got Trulia, Compass, Remax, because what app they use could I go side by side, and not to say it's better or worse, a different experience. And since we're working together, right? If you were my client, Joe, you're going to sign a buyer brokerage agreement with me, right? And you're not going to use another agent. You and I are working together. This app allows us to work together in a way that you get the information that you want. You have access to many resources and even more information. And then everything you look at, I'm the only person you're going to be bothering or contacting. I shouldn't say bother.
Yeah, maybe tweak the script right there a little bit, but no, I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah. That way we're collaborating together. And I just mentioned the word collaborate. So under the saved searches, here's one of the ones of my Core Ridge Isles, the neighborhood that you're interested in, right? And if we're working together, you can literally come to this list of collaboration and projects and you can add me as a co-collaborator. And by the way, this works if you're the agent. So right by default, just understand our app doesn't automatically share with the agent information because we want the client to have a little bit of anonymity, right? We don't want to be all up in their business all the time. So one of the things is to be invited to that. So Joe, this could be your personal app. You're not sharing this with me yet, but you might say, I'm ready for Jay, my realtor, to see what I'm looking at. And you can actually click the three dots here and simply say, add a collaborator.
Just for clarity's sake here, because I want to take a step back and step out of the role play for a sec. You're using the buyer to buyer, like two buyer collaboration tool to create a deeper relationship with your consumer. So you as agent are becoming buyer too, is what you're basically saying, correct?
No.
This
was me testing it. Thank you. I'm glad that you clarified.
Okay, I want clarity for everybody here.
No, I love it. You're exactly right. Because here's the reality. You might already have someone else that you're going to do that with. Because you're only allowed to have one co-buyer.
Okay.
If you're using the app. So that could be husband and wife. It could be two partners. It could be my mom and me if we're buying it together, right? But what you can do is every saved search that you have, you can add as many collaborators as you want. I haven't found a limit on that yet.
Gotcha.
So in that scenario, it's a collection of properties you and I are going to look at and everything else is hidden.
Gotcha.
So once you're ready, this could be my Fort Lauderdale vacation home search. And you can then add me as a collaborator, including your brother and sister and mom, whoever else you want on this. And in our app, we can all see that stuff together. We'll be emailed about it and we'll be notified about it.
Now, Jay, let me take a step back because, again, I've not used it in this way, and I think this is a really cool way to use it. If I'm an agent and I have three buyers adding me as collaborators, can I see all of their collections from my app?
Yes.
Okay.
You can. because it'll be invited to you and it'll add it to it. So I've got all these different collections. I've been testing this out, trying it with myself, with other people. And yes, they'll show up here in a list. And I actually get an email when a new collection's been added. Hey, a new home's been added. And inside that, I said you can actually chat back and forth. So when I pull up the properties in the collection, there is a notes section. So while it doesn't say the word chat, it's the ability to leave a note. And then when you go into your app, you're going to see that note, and I'm going to get notified along that journey.
So as an agent, is this you communicating with your client in command on their contact record, or are you doing this through a consumer account that you've made?
So this is through a consumer account that I made. So the app is consumer. A lot of agents think they're going to have their own login, and my KW login doesn't work. Well, no, it's a consumer app. It's consumer to consumer. So I created a consumer account with my KW email address. So I'm looking at it like they are, and then consumer to consumer, we're really collaborating in this scenario.
This is what I like to call hacking a tool, right? So you're using a tool in a way that it wasn't exactly built to be used, and yet you're using it at a high level. And I hate to say this, but this is like the missing piece that I see a lot of agents saying, oh, Command doesn't do this yet. But if they simply work with their buyers to add you as a collaborator to a collection over instead of simply relying on the Ask a Agent tool, you've now created that connection that agents are dying for. So 2 takeaways from this. 1, agents go and do this right now. And 2, Keller Williams, listen, watch this. It's very important.
So real quick, while we're doing this, so like for those that are watching, if I wanted to the stream ends and I want to go do this tonight. Mm-hmm. Could you walk me through how I would request to be a collaborator, or is this you adding them as collaborators and then making their list, or are they inviting you? Are you instructing them to?
Great question. Well, first I would start off with the fact of, if you've never used this app before, this is the first screen you're going to see. And as an agent, you do not have a login yet. You're going to sign up for one just like your consumer would. There's 2 tricks with it. If you sign up and you're not in your command to test it out, which I recommend you should be in command, right? You should be testing this stuff on yourself like I do. You're going to hit the sign up button and sign in with an account, right? You're just going to register just like they would. And I know a lot of clients have said, oh, my client won't do that. You guys, to use Zillow's app, I have to do this. To use Realtor.com's app, I have to do this. All the apps require a simple name, email address, choose your own password. It's just a standard. So the good news is I already have an account, so I'm just going to hit login. And I've got a couple. So you see in my saved passwords, my test account, I tried it with myself to see how this works. Now, good news is go talk to another agent, go talk to a friend, see, hey, can I check this out with you, Evan? And I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't collaborate together to learn how this works before I go test it.
Jay, what's your email?
Yeah. So my email, if you want to use it, I'd say use my j.cermak@kw.com.
So that's what you.
I haven't rushed to my KW app this fast.
What'd you say,
So
Jeff?
I just added you as a collaborator, Jay. I don't know how quickly this happens, but
so I should
let's
get an
find
email.
out.
So if you send it to that email address, I'm going to get an email. I'd like to add you as a collaborator. There it came.
Well, hold on, maybe I'm the slow one here. I see add co-buyer. Where's this add collaborator at?
There's both. So
what you do, Jay? Okay, guys, we are so going off the radar right now. I love this. So what you do, and so what you do is you go to a property, you save it, you create a collection. Correct. I called my collection collab with Jay. Right now, what I might do is I might take a step further with the buyers to actually put an identifier in there so that you could identify them. Because here's the thing, is if every single one of your buyers say collaborate with Jay, you're going to have 19 collections that say collaborate with Jay. It's going to be hard to figure it out. But if they say Jay/Joe or whatever, and then I do everything within that, that becomes your communication with the agent, right? That becomes that tool. And it's truly that. And I love that because it you know that if they do anything in that, and this is the issue I have with the app and in general with these apps, is if I'm just looking at them and spying on everything they're looking at, that's old school, right? Real estate. That's old school, like internet things. But if we get to be invited to collaborate, and now they know that we're in communication with each other and everything they do in that I'm going to see, they're going to be completely comfortable with the fact that now I'm going to say, hey, I saw you added that property as a favorite. Do you want to go and look at it? And it creates a relationship. And I love this. I love this.
Well,
Okay, so maybe I'm still just behind. I still have yet to find where to add a collaborator. Is it on the collection?
It's in the collections, correct.
Okay, so I'm in a collection.
So you're going to go to one of your saved, right, in a collection, and you're
Yeah.
going to click the 3 dots of the collection inside it. You have to go in it.
Okay.
So go in the collection. You're going to see the list of what's there. And then the upper right-hand corner, when it comes up, you're going to have the 3 dots next to the map to click on and say Add Collaborator.
I think I need to update my app. That's the problem here.
Should be 7.6.0. I checked the App Store today. That's
I am on 7. Okay, yeah. Nope. I
So
am
I
not
would
on the
say
right
any-
version.
again,
so
any
Evan,
agent-
how often are you using the app?
Well, Jay,
What app are you using?
clearly I am not using this app enough because I thought I had auto updates on. Look at me over here. I'm embarrassed.
So what I
What were you
love
gonna say,
about
Joe?
this is I just love this. I love this. I love this. And I love the concept that we can create a relationship with our clients and just say, hey, when you want to go see something or when there's something that interested, just throw it into this collection and it's going to alert me. Now, if you go in and just add a property to this collection,
I'm going to
Jay,
do it right
what
now.
happens?
So I'm going to go
What
ahead and
happens
add this.
on
I'm going to
mine?
hit the save button, right? So saving it is hitting the heart. Here's the collab with Jay. I'm going to say, check it out. And I might even just put my initial next to it just so I can keep track. I hit saved and you should have got some messages and alerts and maybe even an email about that collection. And if you go
I gotta
into your
remember-
app, it should
I got to
be-
remember what email. I got to remember what email I logged into my account on.
I cannot remember for you.
I got an email. There we go.
So, and I like that. It actually notifies you. So people were, right, we were complaining, there's no notifications. I don't know. So when I did my video this morning on how this app, and I used this feature when I was testing it out, Kelly alerted me. Now, Kelly, the app won't give me the information of the message or
Right.
added collaboration
Right.
stuff, but it will at least ding me to say, hey, go into command or go into your app and look at stuff. So I think this is the future of really collaborating with it, not just, you know, can I go look at stuff and this app doesn't work. It's just we
Right.
don't understand it yet. And the more we get comfortable with it and practice
Yeah.
here, I think it's like script and role play. Why aren't you role playing your app? Why aren't you testing
Yeah.
it out, right? I'm waiting for a client to show up at my house. Guess what I'm doing? I'm clicking on this. By the way, I use this app and I have the notifications turned on. So if I go through my notifications, probably cleared them all out. Dang it, nope, they're there. So here's the list of all my Keller Williams notifications from the app lately. New listing, price update, upcoming open house, new listing, right? So now the instant notification aspect of it was something we didn't have a while ago. And that was something people were like, oh, it doesn't work. It's not fast enough. I'm not learning about it. This is
And
just
those
a
are the
great
kind of
thing.
notifications that you can get as an agent if you're on the contact record to set them up on a saved search, right? Or is that just is the consumer also able to go in and make their own search?
It's both. It's actually both. So you can set up your saved search and they'll get alerted, and they can set up a saved search on the app as well. And what I like about it, honestly, I have to say the emojis, like the hands up, new listing, and the price up and down, actually grabs my attention. I'm like, I see that alert, and I'm like, ooh, what's that? I actually
love
found
that.
out there was a rental next door to me because of the app, and I said, hey, and I posted on Facebook, guys, who wants to be my neighbor, right? Because the app alerted me of it. It's just another way there. So I think combining that with this experience and collaborating together, but you're going to have to show your client how to collaborate,
Yeah.
and you're going to
And
have to
that's
understand it to do it.
That's cool because we're using a piece of the technology which was designed for a different reason, and maybe we're just not there yet within Command. But it's such a great tool, and it's a missing piece that I've been looking for. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and well, there you go. So now my recent collections that I come in here, there's collab with Joe. It's created by you, but then there's the property you added, and there's the one that I added,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So
if you
as we
create
work
one
through
for your clients, that's something along the lines of, and maybe when you have them download the app, you create the collection for them right then and there. You'd be like, here, let me set this up. This is going to be our private showing thing. And whenever you see something on here that you want to see, just add it as a favorite and add it to this collection, and I'll be alerted right away.
I think that'd be a
when you
good
do that.
that'd be a good strategy for clients that you have that may not be very tech savvy, right? So you can just set it up for them as an extra layer of service.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing that's
I'm
interesting
looking
about
at it as
this,
we
I
speak,
love,
so
I
I'm gonna
love that
say,
the push notifications are coming through, because I guess I haven't tested that on myself, because I have myself in command as a contact, and I did the save search thing, and I get the emails, and I guess I just haven't been logged into my KWX. I haven't noticed the push notifications, but I did when I went in there. I noticed I had to log in, so that's
So
probably
I'm
why I
adding
haven't
a
been getting
couple of
those.
these, just like we just talked about, and I want to actually go redo what Joe had said because I hadn't done that yet, right? So I created a collection. I'm calling it Coral Ridge Country Club with Joe McHugh. So maybe I put the client's name in or something like you said, something to identify it, right? Think about your MLS alerts. What do you call it? 123
Yeah.
Main Street or
Well,
2 bed, 2 bath, 500,000 Smith family. Jones
and
family.
my point is that it's not built for this, right? So there's nothing in the collection name that is necessarily going to identify for you that that's that client. I mean, it's going to say that client's there, but if you have 50 Coral Ridge collaborations, it might be hard to find the one you're looking for. So add that unique identifier that the client won't think to add. Love that you're looking up Mandalorian stuff on our Labs Advisors Live.
Hey, this is live, guys.
And
So
a good thing to
real
notice
estate-
here too, to point out, is that Jay's really showing off two features of those push notifications. So that collaboration is those hand-picked, curated. You went in and found these properties to show them, and then there's the auto search as well. That's just your search criteria, things that are showing up and as they come on market.
Well, I think if you're doing this together, Joe, if we had a consultation, I'm sitting down with you. I might do this while we're sitting here live. Make sure you get my app in your hands and you see the collection, and then teach you while we're doing this the same thing. So I'm going to click on the 3 dots. Of course, now it wants to be funny because we're messing around. But when I click the 3 dots, I'm going to add you.
Well,
as
Jay, I think what's happening here is you're hitting about 80 million buttons every 2 seconds, and I think the KV app is just going, hey man.
Well, I mean, you know what Douglas Adams would say, right? You know Douglas Adams, author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He says, "What we get is technology. When we want is stuff that works."
Correct. By the way, no technology.
And this works, by the way, and I love that this works.
This
So I don't like calling things that work technology. This is just something that works.
If any of this stuff stresses you out, guys, just remember, keep calm, have your towel handy. Everything's going to be okay.
Don't panic.
So that was one of the big features, I think, and that's the collaboration, and that's what people can collaborate with each other. Now, what Joe or Evan was asking about is, what about that co-buyer? What if I want to have my app automatically link the two together, right? And that's a different scenario. That one's under the More button, and that would be.
And what does that mean? So, like in Collaborator, we're sharing properties. So, what does it mean when you say like we're connecting?
Yeah, when I do the add co-buyer, I find that the two apps together, literally everything that you hit favorited to, I see. Everything I hit favorite to, you see. You literally similar to the collection, but this is more on a bigger search field, I guess makes sense. And I can
it'd be good for like a married couple that they're having the same experience. Yeah.
Yeah, you're only allowed to have one. And then here, what can you do with your co-buyer? So adding a co-buyer lets you share updates, both parties involved in buying and selling process. They have access to the same home picks, instant guides, and guides from your agent. It also makes it easy for them to have discussions and share. So it's more like an easy button instead of having to go to collection and hit share every time and collaborate with people. Right. So that, to me, I would use with my friend and family. I wouldn't do that with my agent. And I would leverage the collection of what we're ready to have me see as the one there, because the reality is we all look at homes all the time. Remember, YouTube says the number one content that they have that people watch is just looking at homes. So people are going to be curious. They don't necessarily need to be alerted of everything you're curious about in America. Right. I just want to know when you're ready, willing, and able.
I'm going to add Joe as a co-buyer, and I'm just going to start loving random properties all over the country.
There you go. And good news, Joe, you can just not accept it or remove them as a co-buyer at any time.
Sorry, Evan. It's not happening.
Come on, man. Oh.
Awesome. So that was a good feature that I love. Now, if I were looking between apps, right? So what are the things that people love about these different apps? So with Zillow, right, we just talked about there's consumer savings. Now, one of the things that they've added recently, like even just taking a tour of a home, right? Well, we have this stuff built into ours as well. But remember, if I hit this button on Zillow's app, that's not somebody I know. That's just going to be the premier agent who either clicked it and picked it or paid to be on there, right? It's not necessarily someone I know, like, and trust. Now, that same feature is built into this home. And a lot of people have asked about this. Right there is the schedule video tour button. Now, I know what you're wondering. Does that mean in person as well? It does. Schedule video tour. And in here, I've got the option to choose my time and date, live video or in person. Now, I'm going to turn off my do not disturb real quick to show you that this works. Let's say I want to see it Sunday and I want to see sometime in the afternoon. And you know what? I'm good with in person instead. I'm going to hit schedule tour. And I wanted to do it this way so you can see my Kelly alert is going to come through telling me that Jay just requested. Come on, you can do it. That I'll actually get an alert telling me that Jay requested a showing, and I go into command to see the details of it.
On top of that, too, it'll be a notification in command, which is what Kelly uses to page. Right. It'll also be on the timeline of that contact, and you're going to get an email.
There it is.
About the form
new
fill.
Message,
Boom.
New contact form received from Jay Cermak. So it does work to do that. By the way, that's what that contact ask your agent button does too. Now, the new thing about this is it auto fills in the information finally. So if you hit the ask your agent button, it automatically has my contact info put in here to just put my message, hey, hit submit on the property.
This is you, the consumer's information.
This is me, the consumer information pre-populated. It has it there. It's not everywhere, but I did notice that one is there. And then I'm going to get the alert from Kelly telling me your agent, the client asked you a question. So I just wanted to show those things do work, right? And I think if you collaborate with each other, that's one big part of it. Now, I feel like we kind of jumped the how does the app work and went right into collaborating with people. So one of the biggest things I always get is the side-by-side comparison, right? People love the Zillow app and they love this app. Well, let's talk about the differences, right? Every app today has the same beginning view. A map, properties, and maybe a little thumbnail. So this is our app with KW. Here is Zillow's app. Again, it was that same beginning view, map, property. I go into realtor.com, same kind of view, some maps, some icons, and a property. But it does change. So if I go into our information, like we said earlier, it's branded to you, which is great. It's got the information there. It's got built-in consumer savings, which is something we didn't see on the other apps. But that's not all it has. If I keep scrolling, neighborhoods is the difference. So number one app people use, we know is really Zillow. Zillow is the number one app according to what people download and use. And if I go to Zillow's app, there's not a lot of information about neighborhoods. So we got the facts about the home, which we have on ours, like all apps do. It does have a little bit of information here. And then when I get down to the actual school ratings are there, which is neat, but we have school ratings and a little bit more. We have school ratings and student to teacher ratios. So I know there's 17 students for every teacher. A little bit more information, just a little bit different.
And private schools.
Yes. And the private schools are there. The biggest thing for me is what locals say. That's the part that I like the best. So if I were to keep going in here, it only tells me your personal guides get to know these agents to tell you about the neighborhood. Zillow can't tell you about the neighborhood. Right?
Where does it get those items and for what the locals say?
Yes, perfect. So in ours, it's from a company called spatial.ai.
Okay.
So it's aggregated artificial intelligence of what people say when they live there. So we know this is great for luxury culture. They do shopping, moviegoers, right? It's got a walkability score. And then I plugged in with add a place to my address. So I know it's a 4-minute drive from my office. It is a 7-minute drive from my bike, and it is a 20-minute walk. And this works anywhere. Now, the neat thing is if I pull up a listing in Chicago, it'll tell you it's a bit more of a commute. But it's automatically built in, and I can add as many places as I want. So add the kids' school, add your work, add where mom and dad live, whatever it is, so you can quickly see how far is it from places, which I really like that. But if I keep going in here, it's also the information around, I think it's more of exploring the neighborhoods, right? So Zillow didn't have much on neighborhood. And if I hit explore this neighborhood, this information, none of the apps have. It's the market snap like we saw, what locals say about being here, right? So I know it's great for trendy eats, moviegoers. We have a great movie theater nearby, yoga culture, networking, healthy foods. What are people looking for when they move to an area they don't know, which is mostly my market? People move from out of the area.
So this is all the people that live in these neighborhoods that have Alexas in their home. And it's just hearing what they're saying. And Jeff Bezos is.
What are they searching by? Yeah. Well, no, seriously. What are they looking for, right? Hey, I'm looking for luxury stuff. This neighborhood that we're in right now for this home is $1 million plus market. It's a luxury neighborhood. People desire to be there. It's got the driving and locations, like we said. Now, right now, it looks like Yelp is being a little troublesome, but normally Yelp is even in there, and the Yelp map would let me see how close to the grocery store, how close to the nightlife. So it answers most of the stuff people ask you when they don't know an area. Where's a great place to live? What do people say about living there, right? How far is it from here? And then once the Yelp's built into that, which normally does work, it's probably just something they're working on today. And then other homes for sale here. If I did the same thing on Zillow, so it has no information about neighborhoods anywhere. There's no neighborhood search. I can't search for Coral Ridge neighborhood. I have to kind of go around the map and try to find it myself. Right? It's just something different. By the way, same thing on realtor.com, information about the home, a little bit about neighborhood, mostly the schools. Everyone did that. So that seems like everyone's got that information. And then this is the only information about the neighborhood: median sales price, square foot, and days on the market. That's it. There's nothing else there telling me anything about living there, what it is, and there's no neighborhood search. So those are just some differences. And again, I'm not trying to badmouth the other apps. It's just a different experience. So you just shared with me, Joe, that you want to live in a neighborhood, not just an entire city of Florida or Fort Lauderdale. You want to be in a community, in somewhere, and you want to be able to look that way, right? So that's something that we have that I think is a big differentiator. The other thing that I think is big, landmarks, right? So you might have the empty nester who says, hey, my kids are going to Ohio State University. Awesome. Let's look it up. Ohio State University. I'm going to say Ohio State Stadium, because it's a landmark. And right there on our app, I found Ohio State Stadium. I like clicking the more button, by the way. Go to the map and do satellite because it shows me the actual stadium. I think I can zoom in almost enough to see some seats.
This has got to be the single greatest demo of any tech product that I've ever seen. Like, I'm over here Venmoing Jay money to send me his app.
This is what we're sharing, right? So if I'm going to buy the school, well, where can I go buy a home for my kid nearby that landmark, right? So I can find some properties here. Remember, it's also branded to me. So if I click on this, there's my name and information again. They can hit ask your agent, and it's going to contact me as your agent. Jay Cermak is going to talk to you about a property in Ohio, and I'm not licensed there, yet I can connect you to a referral.
I think that's a really big point too, and because we kind of glossed over it a little bit, but the idea of, hey, people are a lot more conscious over their data and who gets access to it. I mean, we've learned, over the past couple of years how valuable our information is, and I have a lot of friends that are really conscious about it, and I can share this with them and basically say, hey, look, when you use this, like, it's not going into some mega corporation's just going to turn around and sell that information to the highest bidder. It's just going to me, and we already have a relationship, right? And I'm not selling anything.
I won't see everything you're looking at, Evan, so don't feel like Big Brother's watching. I'm only going to see what you decide to share with me, and that's another way I can protect you too.
Well, doesn't it show what houses they look at on the contact timeline?
It sometimes, not always.
Ah, okay.
It's not been showing up.
I know on the neighborhood pages it does a really good job of that. So I didn't know how that translates into the
not right now. So I would say, to me, that means, hey, there's a little bit of anonymity, and you can look around like you need to, and then come to me when you're ready and hit the contact me button or collaborate, and then I can see that in the collaborations.
KW app incognito.
I want to show that same landmark though in these other sites. So it's funny. I do Ohio State Stadium. I looked up for it earlier, and it took me to Richmond, Virginia. That's not even near Ohio. And I did the same thing at realtor.com, Ohio State Stadium, and it took me to some islands. I mean, I'd like to go there, but why are we going to San Juan? It has no understanding of what a landmark is. By the way, it's not just like a stadium or school. What about the White House, right? Maybe someone says, I'm going to go work at the White House. Oh, that's Zillow's app. That's why it didn't work. And I can go look at the White House or whatever major landmark, maybe the Grand Canyon. There's the White House. I can literally zoom in and see it. And then I can find the neighborhoods nearby. Like maybe I know I'm going to go to Logan Circle. I don't know anything about it. I just got a job relocation. I click on Logan Circle and I can quickly learn some information about that neighborhood in an area I don't know. I can get an idea of prices. Maybe I find a nice little studio condo here, and I can contact Jay to connect me with someone in Washington, D.C. And the same thing on these other apps. I said the White House, and it took me to White House, Nashville, Tennessee. It's just different. So if you're looking for ways to show somebody, if you had this ability, would that help you with what you're looking for? Right? Where do you plan to go? I want to retire one day by the beach. Awesome. Let's type that in. Where are you going? So I think the neighborhoods, the landmarks, the savings, the collaboration are huge ways that you give a consumer experience that they have never had before. By the way, they won't know to ask for this because it doesn't exist on the other apps. So if I've never been able to search by neighborhood, why would I go to Joe today and say, Joe, I wish I could search by neighborhood? It's never been done in our history until now. No one knows they can do it. Or landmark, no one's been able to do it before. So they don't know that they can search by landmark. Man, I wish I can, go live by the Eiffel Tower if we had stuff in Paris on here, right? Can I go find that, a national landmark of some kind, or school stadium? And
to that point too, Jake, because if you think about it, like, this is not new when it comes to technology innovations. Like back in the day, when you're buying CDs, you wouldn't know to go look up that Spotify exists, right? Spotify had to reach out to you and market in some way. And here at KW, the agent is the one that is out there sharing the app and being the champion for it and getting it in the hands. You have a powerful tool. Share it with people, right? They're not going to see it on the billboard.
But more importantly, Evan, what would happen if Jay typed in Eiffel Tower into the search? I really want to know this.
Let's find out.
It's going to give him a 2-day walk commute.
How do you spell Eiffel Tower?
Not like that. EIFF.
Siri, how do I spell Eiffel Tower?
Oh, let's see if I get it right.
EIFFEL. Okay.
Boom.
EIFF.
I wonder if it'll take us to Vegas.
There is one there. Ooh.
There's an Eiffel Tower in Tennessee.
No, we are in
the Strip.
Vegas.
We're in Vegas.
Hey, but it did work. It took us to Vegas.
That is so
awesome. Now, is that because the app is not as international yet?
It's on its way, yes. It's not necessarily international just yet, but it is.
Hey, it did find an Eiffel Tower. Yeah.
And now I can go find some homes near Vegas. There we go, 629. I can go refer it to a Vegas agent. Who do we know in Vegas that could help me out, right?
So
while we're having a little fun, I want to look at some of these quick questions real quick from the chat. We do have a couple of comments. We have Jay is the man, which is good. Very good. Here we have Joe Green has said you can also create the account for your client with the search criteria already pre-created. All they need to do is log in to see them.
Ah, very clever. Yeah, that would work. Right? Do it on your app beforehand, and instead of making them go register, have them get that email I just got from Joe. Jay would like to collaborate with you. That would work.
Oh,
Smart,
that
Joe.
is smart.
Do you see that? That way you don't have to make them go download. Maybe they won't. Maybe I just send a bunch of people some random searches and see if they'll download my app with what I sent them.
Sounds like we're going to have Joe Green on the show next week.
All right, Joe's doing it from now on.
We've also got 2 more questions. We said, how does the collaboration thing work? I think, Jay, you went over that. I think we got that question answered. So whoever asked that question, if you have a follow-up question, feel free to ask. And then someone says here, I like this question, how do I share this app with my sphere?
Perfect. Awesome. So we're going to go in the app. When you're logged in, now you have to be logged into the app as your consumer account that you're going to create in order for this to work. Because I hear a lot of people say, hit share, this didn't work, that didn't work. Well, they weren't logged in. They were just using the app willy-nilly. So under the More button is a simple button right at the bottom that says Share KW App. When I click it, I have options. I can text it, I can airdrop, I can email it. Personally, if I'm with the client, I'm going to text it to them right there in front of them. Hey, Joe, let me text this app over to you really quick. What's your phone number again? So I get it. I can do that in an open house, by the way, right? Think about this as an open house. If we want to reverse this at the open house, I can show you the listing like I shared with you. And I can even show you the neighborhood data about it and recent sales and stuff nearby, all from my app. And would you like to have this on your phone? And I can give it to you really quick.
Yeah, that's the link that ends up getting sent to them is the one Evan just highlighted. Which is also available to be found under your consumer site and app settings, and then go to URLs. So if you wanted to go digging for it there,
that's one way. There's also under as well. Yeah, there's also under view profile. If they were to look at your profile of any kind, there is a refer button down here.
Yeah, they can just search you up. I wanted to point out that link too because Jay's way of coming in the app is a really convenient way if you're using the app, with a consumer account.
Right.
Important to note, though, is that link is what's special, right? That link is what that's branded to Jay. So if you just took that link, wrote it down anywhere, put it on your computer on a text file, you can kind of paste that and send it in any way you'd want to. And
I'll show you the way I
fine.
changed it. I went even a step further, Evan. I knew no one will remember that code. So I actually programmed my website, app.jteamglobal.com, goes to that link. And I have it on my business card with the QR code as well.
Yep.
To scan to that code if they were out and about. And it's on all my marketing flyers so they can quickly get my app. Or just go to app.jteamglobal.com. It works really great for postcards I send out.
And that's brilliant, too, because if you own a domain,
yes,
you can have as many subdomains as you want for free. If you got a GoDaddy thing or Google Domains, just give your domain person a call. Say, I want to set up a subdomain. I want that subdomain to forward to that link. You'll be done within a day. It'll be ready to use in a day or two.
But it makes more sense because no one's going to remember the code. And everyone's like, I can't remember the number. And I think mine's a 2I3. I'm like, no one sees I, they see 1. And right. So make it
app.jcermak.com. Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Or if you're crazy and are into the near field communication devices, you could always get one that would just, they hold their phone up to it. But that's next level.
Yeah, exactly. So those are some of the great things. And I think the final one would be we're buying and selling together, right? We started talking about collections and collaborating and stuff. Well, what about the actual buying and selling process? How do I know I can help you, Joe or Evan, while you're on the go? And I think that's where the guide comes in. So the guide button, and this is the neat part, you're all going to have the same guide to start. And you get to enhance it. So I'm going to show you my enhancement.
Yeah, I already see enhancements that I don't have.
Well,
I don't have.
Let's say you're the seller's my big adjustment one. So let's say you're my seller, Joe, and I have an appointment with you. By the way, don't sellers want to know what's happening in their neighborhood? What are those homes for sale? Wouldn't they want alerts about everything in their neighborhood right now to set up their own stuff just to pay attention? I want to be alerted when something new hits the market. Well, I put in here the selling guide. Now I do a pre-listing packet from Command. I do a presentation when I'm with the people, and then I leverage this in their hand to say, hey, by the way, we can do a virtual selling consultation, because your app, I think, started with, honestly, I think the app starts with showing your home and then offers on. So I added selling consultation to start. By the way, you're going to sign a listing agreement. Thanks for choosing me. We're going to hire a professional photographer. We're going to make sure we do Matterport, because in this day and age, if I can't get in the home, can you walk around? I talk about social media. By the way, I leverage the fact that Keller Williams is the only real estate company with a partnership with Facebook. Not everyone else who says they do and doesn't have Facebook in their headquarters working with them, as a way to show I'm going to get your listing out there. And then I go into showing review offers, inspection, appraisal, the whole process. And the client has the ability to say, mark complete when they've done it. So they have, in what case could be like the Domino's delivery service, where are we at in the journey, built into the app, that you get to customize as the agent to give them a different experience. Now, the buying guide is the same thing. Now I added some more stuff. So due to COVID, I had to change some things, right? The buyer consultation, including a virtual consultation. But I added the seller signed buyer brokerage agreement. It's not in there, right? I don't do any deals without my client signing it. Some agents do, some agents don't. It's just my personal business belief. So I have it in here is that my client should come to me. Jay, we started looking for stuff. I got my pre-approval. By the way, pre-approval has Keller Mortgage built right in. And if they have their own lender, they just say I already have financing, but they could save money right
This
here.
is getting out of control. I keep thinking Jay's like, okay, he's done the full feature. He's done. He's just like, oh, boom. By the way, boom. And then by the way, boom.
But wait, there's more. So then the buyer consultation, we talked about this, right? Tour the homes virtually if you need to. We're going to make our offer. The home inspection, by the way, your home inspection, you can edit this and add your own like list of inspectors while you're in here. What if you make it as easy as possible? Now we haven't built our vendor portion of the app, but as Joe said, what would be a hack around this? Couldn't I edit this description and have a list of my recommended inspectors already ready to go at their fingertips right there? Yeah. Home insurance is one. Now home insurance ties into Keller Covered. It's just a tool to shop around for home insurance to see if that could be a way. It might be of help to them or not, but it's a reminder of things that they're going to need till they get to the close. Now, I edited mine for COVID. I need to re-edit it now that, well, I guess the world's not totally back to normal and things are getting crazy. We might go back to masks. However, I started with knowing there's now a physical and virtual option. And I'm probably going to keep it that way forever. It's always going to be a hybrid option, and making sure those are clear for both my buyers and sellers. And then they get to choose where am I at my journey. Okay, great. Mark is completed, and it's going to check it off the list. So now they can see that back and forth.
I love this.
Can you,
So,
and you may have just said this, so forgive me. Can you, as the agent, monitor their progress throughout the guide?
Kinda. So one of the
I'm
challenges
struggling to
right
think of
now-
a use case for it, because I mean, obviously you're in communication with them, but
Right. So technically it's supposed to be under the opportunity, and there's a section there for profile. So in the opportunity itself, when you're in there, in the transaction, it has a section where it says profile that ties to the app. Now I haven't tested it to see, does it show me what step they're in? The goal of it one day is I'll be able to program this to say, we've already done the pre-approval check. We've already done this check. But couldn't you guys enhance your experience? If I work with you, remember, this app only KW agents have, but I can make myself stand out between even Joe and Evan to say, well, let me share what I do differently in my app and some of the stuff that I've added to show you I do more for you. I've got a moving service built in. I've got other lender options. I've got, more selling choices, different things that I'm showing to give them a different experience.
I think at this point it's beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jay is doing more for them than Joe or I are doing.
So all of your Evan referrals send to Jay. Thanks.
You got it.
But you see, like, that's just something. And by the way, I didn't even have to even start with searching or how do you search or how do you do stuff. I think people have figured that out by now. What I wanted to highlight was what's different and can I create a different consumer experience? And I think so far we've shown a bit of a wow of something different. And even, Joe Green shared with us a different way to even go farther with this. What if we collaborated like that? Like in your market center, go practice this one day. In your script and role play, practice sharing the app with each other, right? Test it out, see how it works, get familiar with it. Thank you
Oh,
I didn't put my do not disturb
funny.
back on. I'm glad you didn't say
A little
anything.
behind the scenes.
Yes. But that's the whole goal. Can I collaborate with people? Can I get the information I need? Can I see the stuff that I want? But can I give a different experience that makes somebody feel like I'm a collaborator? To me, I feel like I'm a partner with this app with you more than the others. And the others, I'll never be that partner. And by the way, those companies own that data. Zillow gets the data, not you. They're watching 24/7 what the client does. They're selling that to some other person. Is that really what's best for the client, or is that just making money? My business is built on helping people get what they want and helping the people in their world and showing that I care. And I think this app shows that we can care together while safely protecting them and their data, because Evan, you said it, you trust me, we have a relationship. Mm-hmm. I feel like you'd probably feel a little more confident with the information I gave you than putting it on the black market. And by the way, our belief system and our company would never do that. Everyone else has a stockholder. I don't know. Stock market maybe do it.
And I like the way Jay's phrasing. He's putting a very nice cultural way of phrasing this, and I'm going to phrase it in a little bit of a different way, right?
Okay.
So these are your relationships, right? Jay has got a tool that he's putting in front of his people, right? People are going to use some kind of home search tool, right? That's beyond a shadow of a doubt going to happen. There is a lot of money going out there that is just getting in front of the people that you should already be in front of, right? Because we're not getting in front of them, so they go to Zillow, they go here, and now someone else is calling them, right? And if we're not doing a good job following up and they just get boom in the moment, that's when you go through your database and you look through and you discover that your good buddy Alan bought a house last year, and it wasn't with you.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, it's painful.
Well, and the other thing is, remember, the old way of sharing information with you was I would give you a lead and I wouldn't talk to them anymore. These companies don't let go. I remember I'm testing all this. So what do you think I get every day? Zillow emails, Realtor.com emails, Truly emails, all the apps I'm testing, I get bombarded with messages from them. And by the way, we're all like, oh, I'm bothering my client. Amazon talks to you 80 times a week and you still use them. And we're worried about telling our client, hi, I'm checking in with you every quarter. Are you okay?
Amazon literally makes noises in my house through a small speaker.
Exactly. Right? but they're doing it because they're not tied to that emotion of, they're just saying, hey, I'm getting in front of you as often as I can so that I'm top of mind. And I think that's what we need to do. And I think this app can allow you to become the go-to top brand person and have them get rid of anything that rhymes with Willow. They don't need it.
Yeah.
It's not going to give them the right stuff anyways.
It's not bothering your client. You're providing top level service.
Yeah. And it lives on beyond that too, because then they're going to use this after they bought with you and have a collection. I might have my dream collection of my retirement home listed here, even if I'm not ready to retire for the next 5 years. Couldn't I start dreaming and looking and stuff and saving that here? Right? So I think, oh, there we go. Here's some of the collaboration. Now that we collaborated, here's some of the feed, by the way. Collections, the guide. So some of this is going to start collaborating back and forth. I must have logged into my other account, but it is telling me what is Jay looking at, what is happening. We're communicating, and it works more than people think. And I just know this because I use it often and I practice it and I test it out with myself before I ever practice on a client. Just like I wouldn't want to practice the contract on them. I wouldn't want to practice my scripts on the client, my buyer presentation. This is part of my buyer presentation. We will be talking about how do you search for homes currently. Let me share my app with you. I'm going to show you a different way we can work together.
I love it. Jay, thank you so much. And I do want to say it is 3:50, so real quick, guys who are watching live, use that Slido link and get those questions in. Facebook is on a little bit of a delay, so we were going to give it some time for anybody to ask any last questions that they want to. While we wait for those to roll in, Joe, what's your biggest takeaway today? Because I got like 80, and I I thought I knew this app really well. I was wrong. Uh-oh.
Hey,
I was
Zoom
muted.
bingo. Zoom bingo. Wow. After a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, no, I think this is great. I mean, I think it's a great fun little twist on how to use our existing technology, and it's a command hack, as I like to call them, and I love it.
Jay, I just want to say thank you for coming on and bringing in your expertise, thorough presentation of everything that's on there. Like I'm actually going to go on this weekend. I'm going to start playing around with it more and do some testing, because I think the last time I ever played around with it was a while back, and I guess I needed to come back and give it another shot.
Well, I think that's a lot of it. Quite honestly, there's a lot of our tech I think we stopped, and I'll be honest, every once in a while, if I stopped using it, I just go in and check. Did anything change? Did it get a little bit better? And we were making lots of changes. Remember, we had that whole commitment of 90 days to getting better and doing stuff. And they really have done a lot more stuff. A lot of things have started working more. That if you've been a person on the fence, if you've been a person that heard someone say, this doesn't work for me, does it not work, or they just not understand it? I would beg to differ. Most of the time, I think we just don't understand it well enough yet. And if you get familiar with it and you play with it like I have, I think I can explain it at a high level, and you can get to that level if you start using it with yourself, people you know and like. And then when you do that, I think the sky's the limit. You can dominate your competition in 5 seconds. I pulled up all of our competitors' apps. All of our competitors' apps don't even do some of the basics. They just don't. You can convince people to use you instead.
That's awesome. So we do have Kara Nozel in the chat, friend of the show, and Labs Advisor Live alumnus. Great LA Live. My takeaway, the awesome scripts. Yes, there were some great scripts in there, and Kara, I believe that you were tasked with being the stenographer, and all these scripts will be available in the comments soon.
I was going to say, is that why she said it? So she has to type it all out.
Well, if you missed any of it, guys, don't worry. These shows are recorded. They are available on YouTube, and, of course, the live stream is going to be right here on Facebook at the same spot where you are right now. It's going to be here tomorrow. And then my personal favorite question that we've gotten so far, which is, did Joe get a haircut? And I will go ahead and admit that was me. I put that in there.
You asked that? I was gonna say nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. I did. I got it trimmed. I got 7 of them trimmed.
All 7. Oh,
that's awesome.
That's someone else. Never mind.
Well, this has been a phenomenal episode. Jay, thank you again. Joe, thank you as always. We have next week, we're going to be launching what's next month? August.
August.
Thank you so much. So we do have August. We have an awesome month. We actually, even because August has Mega Camp, we have a phenomenal panel episode at the end of Mega Camp recapping. Be on the lookout for that next week. We're going to be launching that marketing pretty soon. Jay,
who's our guest for next week? Evan?
Our
Can we
guest
tell
for
them
yes, we can go ahead. It is Mr. Andy Fisher. And Joe, I'll let you talk about this one because this is a guest that Joe handpicked. Like, he put this in front of me. He's like, no, we have to do this.
No, Andy has some unique ideas on how to do internet lead follow-up or follow-up in general using smart plans in a way that is effective and you don't get overwhelmed, right? So he's going to come on. I think that's what his topic is. That's what I want his topic to be.
It is. To confirm.
Looking forward to Andy being on next week.
Awesome. Jay, if there's any one thing to take away from today, what is it?
I think it's stay in curiosity, guys. Stay in curiosity if things work. Take things that people say with a grain of salt. Remember, we're a society that gets upset easily if things don't work the way they're supposed to. And I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10, I think it's just people don't understand how it works. So stay in curiosity, try it out, click a few things. Don't be afraid to break it. We want you to give us feedback, and it's the only way we're going to get better. But I'll tell you, from when we thought about this app to when we tested this app, and I've been in that process the whole way along the way, this is even beyond some of my dreams, what it can do.
Love it. Well, thank you so much again. And guys, that is going to do it for this week's Labs Advisors Live, and we will see you next week, both of those at the same time. You guys take care now. And this is the part where music plays, and then we just continue to hot mic over it for just a little bit.
Hey, Joe, who's your barber? I need one.
Pillow.
Did you donate the clippings to Locks of Love?
No, it wasn't long enough.
No, he mailed them to me. I just keep them around.
Oh. Yeah, did the person cut them and like keep them in a little jar?
Locks for Evan is what we call it. I donate all my hair to Evan.